Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what I need to do first. I got to make sure all platforms are working. So let's check out Instagram first. Instagram is working properly. Let's check out LinkedIn. See what LinkedIn got. That looks great. Now, let me check out Facebook because Facebook was giving me some problems. No, we good, we good. And last but not least, let's check out YouTube real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Y'all know how we. Okay, let's see. All right, that looks good. All right, for those who don't know me, my name is Broadus Palmer. I'm Cloud Career Coach, and I'm founder of Level Up in Tech, where we help mid-career professionals transition into cloud engineering by learning how to gain experience by solving problems as cloud engineers, and we help them land high-paying roles. So before we start, I want to make sure y'all can hear and see me well. I'm not in my original location, so I just want to make sure you can hear and see me well. Put an LU in the chat, or put yes in the chat, or no if you can hear, or if you can't, because I just want to make sure y'all get everything that you need to get out of this. And I don't want to say things, right? And then we go 5 minutes and someone says, I can't hear you, I can't see you. And you're not getting all that you're supposed to get out of this. So put yes in the comments or no before we start. And we just take it from there. But I'm here really just I do these cloud confidence clinics every day. Try to do them every single day. Really want to help you just build your mindset and help you land a role. All right, this is really for you, for those of you who come with a certain frame of mind. I want to reframe your mind and help you leave with a new frame. This is everything from motivation to I don't know where to start to I'm just overwhelmed to how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm just going to keep it raw and real with you so you can get everything that you need to get. Understood? So if you have questions, please put them in the comments. Last live, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I didn't have any questions. Well, at the end, I started to have questions, but I want to have questions throughout. So there's no such thing as a stupid question if you feel that I want to access, because I promise you, if you feel this way, that means somebody else on this call is feeling the same way that you're feeling. And I want to make sure you get it answered, because this could help someone else as well. And I want to keep track of Instagram to make sure no one else have questions there. And I'm going to keep track of Facebook to make sure no one has questions there. Okay. So if you see me like gazing off, I'm looking at multiple platforms. Okay. So I want to talk about the post. If you've been following me, I want to talk about the post that I did earlier. And I'm gonna bring it up because I want to read this to y'all, because I think it's super important to be reminded of this at all times. Because while we going through our journey, we all get into this funk. We all get into this. Nah, I don't want to do it. I'll do it later. Listen, raise your hand if you've been through this. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow turns. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. Then, oh, well, you know what? I'm so far behind. I'll start next week. Well, the next week turns to next month. The next month turns to a couple months, and then you never get it started. Raise your hand. I'm gonna raise my hand as well because I've been there. Raise your hand if you've been there, and if you just procrastinated the crap out of your career at one point. You may not be doing that now, right? But in some point in your career when you were trying to transition, or even now you in tech and you're trying to grow, you have procrastinated? I'm gonna put my hand up because there were plenty of times that I've told myself, oh man, I didn't put it as priority. And I came home, it's 10 o'clock at night, you tired, and you say, okay, I I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow turns to, oh man, I forgot. You know what? I'm gonna do it the next day. The next thing you know, it's Friday, and guess what? You ain't doing shit on the weekend. You ain't doing nothing on the weekend. So then that becomes, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start fresh on Monday. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start fresh on Monday. And you don't. That was me. And one thing that we really didn't realize is, I mean, we did after a while, that it really killed our progression towards our career. So I want to read this post that I posted today. If you haven't seen it, go to my page now. But I'm gonna take a reading. I'm gonna read a little bit, really. All right. So it's called "The Little Delays That Kill Your Cloud Career." This is why most people never land the cloud job they want. It's not one big mistake that's keeping you from a cloud career. It's the little ones that you keep repeating. So the Bible call it a little sleep, a little folding of the hands. And it was talking about in Proverbs that, the little naps that you take, right? These little things that you procrastinate about become these huge disadvantages, because this is lack of being active in your career, and eventually it keeps you broke. And that's what I've been learning, right? So this means like skipping the lab today, right? Putting off the coursework, putting off your resume to next week, right? Waiting just a little bit longer to start working because I don't really quite feel right now. I'll wait, until I feel ready. And we're not understanding that these things don't look dangerous at first, but over time it robs us like a thief, like the book says. All right. Our opportunities disappear, our confidence fade, and then suddenly the interview that we could have aced is gone and we can't get the time back. So this is what you have to understand. Cloud is moving fast. As we know, since the boom, I mean, cloud's been here for a long time, but the boom in 2020 made us realize that this technology is moving super fast. And a lot of us in that time, right, 5 years ago, wasn't even ready. Think about it. Billion-dollar companies, multi-billion-dollar companies weren't ready for the cloud because they were anti-cloud, or they were, some companies who still want to keep things on-prem just for, they've seen the future. They analyzed, they understood what was happening. But when COVID hit, everyone had to bounce to some type of cloud service, and we just weren't ready. And that showed us that the technology that we use moves fast every day. We're seeing it now with AI, right? So every day you delay, someone else is building the projects, making the connections, and stacking the skills and portfolio that you could have. But here's the good news. You can flip this today by taking small, consistent steps towards your role, right? It's all about changing your daily activities. That's what's going to help you reach your goals. Remember, I always say this. The difference between the distance of where you are and where you want to be, you see this in between, right? That is called your daily activities. The daily activities that you have, that you're doing now, is keeping you at this moment. This is the beginning. You're not even changing. But if you change between this, what you do every day, and make small, consistent steps to reach this goal, eventually you creep your way to the goal. So just imagine if you did that, what your life can look like for you. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you did that. All right. So let's see. Somebody said a bunch of little ones. Is that what you mean? Yeah, yeah. So a bunch of little, just naps. You know what I'm saying? You're sleeping on your career while you think these are little things that don't come and rob you. Like, once again, man, I'll skip today. Like, think about it. You skip the gym. You're like, I don't feel like going today. Then you ain't gonna feel like going tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna feel like going the next day. And think about it, that's a habit that builds fast. It builds faster. And so think about, like, if you in shape, you go to the gym or you run every day, you do some type of exercise every day, and you've done it for years. Think about if you take a week off, how fast that week creeps up on you when you go back the next week. Think about that. That's how fast that habit can creep in. The bad habit can creep in over your good habit. You take a week off, you go back, you're like, God, oh my God, I shouldn't have took that week off. Yes, we always have to stay consistent. I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm just posting right now. I've often said little things keeps us busy and cause us to miss so much of the bigger picture. Absolutely. And if this is a priority to you, then you have to make it a priority. It has to be in your schedule, right? With other things. It has to be, and I'm just keeping it super transparent. A lot of people may not agree with me. But if you want to change your career, right, and you got kids and everything, this priority has to be just as important as your kids' game. Hey, I got my kids' game too. Well, guess what? You gotta do both. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I know some parents I've seen that had school, and guess what? They got a hot spot. They out there, it's baseball season. They got a hot spot, and they out there with the laptop working. And all right, Joey, I see that. They doing the same thing. They're doing it at one time. So there's no excuses of why you can't get the job done if you want it bad enough. Let's see. I left Microsoft in 2016 to build a cloud army. And imagine that is the key. Absolutely. You have to be crazy with your goals. Kevin is saying it right. If you see it, you will be it. Your career will go where your mind is. If you're not thinking about this all the time, if you're not immersing yourself in this, if you're not acting as if, even if you don't see it, you will never become it. And I think that's why we let these little things creep in, because we are not acting as if. We're acting as we're trying. I'm trying. But guess what? Somebody, and I read this, I don't know who said it. Somebody might put it up there. There's only do or don't. There's no try. Either you're doing it or you're not doing it. There's no such thing as you're trying to do it. You're trying to do it as you're not doing it. All right, so let's see. I'm 42-year-old truck driver. Getting into the tech industry through cloud skills is a good investment for the next 20 years and until retirement. If that's a question, yeah, I mean, technology is not going anywhere, brother. So whether it's cloud, whether it's on-prem technology, whether it's AI that's running off the cloud and on-prem, whether it's, whatever technology there is whatever we have today, whatever we're learning today will always be the backbone of what comes tomorrow. Because in order to build tomorrow, we have to build it on today. So in the next 20 years, your investment right now, you will be, if you're a truck driver, look, this is what I say. And I don't know anything about driving trucks, but it seems like you don't want to drive trucks anymore, right? I came from banking, 14 years at banking, all types of banks, Wells Fargo, BB&T, et cetera. When I pass my last job at the bank, when I pass that bank, I'm so thankful I don't have to go back there. I'm so thankful that I made the decision to sacrifice my time, money, and put effort into my career to change my life. Because if I didn't, I would still be in the same space. This is 8 years from now. 8 years later, I'll still be in the same space, wondering what my life could be, trying to figure out my next move. So it sounds like to me, because I think we had these conversations, right? It sounds like to me, you just need to make a decision. Do you want to be a truck driver or do you want to be a cloud engineer? You've done enough research. The question that you asking me, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but I just got to keep it totally honest. The question you're asking me, I'm pretty sure you've asked other people. So from my standpoint, in my experience, and once again, I could be wrong, maybe you're scared to take the first step and you're scared to make the decision. And maybe you just want somebody to tell you something that you're comfortable with. But you're just gonna have to make the decision, brother. You want to be a cloud engineer or you want to be a truck driver or you want to be something else. But whatever it is that you want to be, you got to make the decision to be it and become it, or you would never become it. I hope that answers your question. Kevin, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Let's link, brother. Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Good to see you, Cloudgrove. I appreciate it. Yo, man, Dr. Alexis been rocking with me for years. I think before I even started in this career. So let's say like 9, maybe even 10 years, man. Great to see you on the live, brother. Thank you. The free tier from AWS is a perfect gateway coupled with Chat GPT 5 prompt engineering the future. Look, the game is right here. And I'm sorry, I don't know who this is. Oh, Joe. All right, so this is Joe. All right. So Joe is I think that was Joe. But Joe is a coach at Level Up Tech. He says, Joe Stevens here, coach for Level Up Tech for Linux. Also have a unique perspective being a hiring manager. When I set development plans for my team, I had to make scheduled time to work on career development. It's important to take the time for career development 2-3 hours a day. It's a great way to invest in learning. And the way you build this out using projects and documenting your work, this gives validation and credibility to your work. And more importantly, you get the confidence to go into something he was going to say. So I guess he was saying get the confidence to go in the cloud or whatever it is that you want to go into. All right. So Joe has hired maybe 5, 6 people out of Level Up Tech. He was manager of some sort, I think a director, etc. I could be wrong. At a company called SHI. He was hiring architects and engineers. He hired some people out of our program. And one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, as he hired them and gave them great salaries and great opportunities, the number 2 thing outside of their job was if they got hired early in the program, like, they didn't complete it yet, let's say, program was 6 months, but they got hired in 5 months. The number 2 thing was they had to finish the program. Career development was key because he wanted someone that had the ability to continue to learn, the confidence to continue to learn, because this is a lifelong learning journey. I hope y'all understand this. All right. You have to be purpose driven if you wanted it. If you wanted it and you would invest in time, eat and sleep, the grind, we're doing it for someone else. Own your future. Absolutely. All right. For a new person who wants to join your cohort but aren't ready, would you recommend self-study on platforms like Code Academy? In the meantime, if so, what should they study? Well, it just depends, right? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a cloud engineer, start with cloud concepts, cloud fundamentals. Start with the CCP, AWS CCP, or the Azure 900, or the Google Cloud Digital Cloud Leader, excuse me. And just go through documentation as you learn services through those certifications. Go to the documentation and deploy those services. See how they work. That's a great way to start. And if you're good enough and you're disciplined enough, you may not need a program, right? You may say, I can do this on my own. That's totally up to you if you're that driven and disciplined, right? Continue to do that. Make that a habit in your daily activities. Remember, you're here. The space is the daily activities. You have to change that. And it's hard changing that, but that's exactly what you need to do. Go get a foundational cert. And as you learn about each service in a cert, I would just take the time to deploy that service and use it. Learn what works and what doesn't. Even if you can't get it to deploy all the way, right? You can get an understanding of what it does. And possibly if you use ChatGPT, why it's not working the way you want it to work. And that's learning, that's experience. Even the basic things that you learn in cloud, some people that's in cloud roles that's been in there for years don't even have that experience because they've never done it. And that's crazy to say, but yeah. All right. a job interview and get the job. Okay, so I see what Joe was saying. Joe saying you get the confidence to go into a job interview and get the job. Absolutely, Joe. So I'm making a leap into tech and currently on the AWS Solutions Architect track, building skills towards my first cloud engineer role. I'm based in Nigeria and fully committed, putting in work with the right focus and guidance. I'm determined to land my first cloud job before this year ends. From your experience, what key actions should I prioritize to make that happen? Solving problems and documenting it. Solving problems and documentation. That's the key prioritization. Prioritize solving problems and documenting your problem solving. Because without that, think about it. A company wants you to solve problems. That's what they're paying you for, right? If you don't have proof that you can solve problems, what? You see what I'm saying? Imagine like you're trying to get into the soccer league. Now, obviously, soccer teams invest in great soccer players. They want the problem they have is they want great players that can take them to better records, standings, right? And possibly a championship. But let's say you don't have any, because before you get into where you can showcase your skills on the field in front of them, they want to see something, right? They're not going to just waste their time coming to see you and you can't play. So they want to see if you can play. But let's say you don't have any clips or anything in your portfolio to show you can play. Do you think you can get that opportunity to show them that you can actually do it? No. So think of this the same way. All right. All right. So Joe was manager of cloud services. I was just talking about Joe hired about 5 or 6 people out of our program. He was manager of cloud services, AWS with SHI. All right. Really? Wow. Yep. Don't know what you were talking about. Let me know what you were talking about. What is documentation? How does that work? Documentation is literally you documenting step by step what you did with the project, right? We call it, I'm gonna give you a little game. We call it SORT, scenario, obstacle, action, result, troubleshooting. Scenario. What's the scenario? Like what problem are you solving? Right? Some people say, oh, I deployed a EC2 instance, which is a server. I deployed an EC2 instance with an Apache web server. Okay, that's great. I understand you can do that. What is the scenario? Like, what problem is that solving for a company? All right. What obstacles did you have to get over to be able to deploy that? Like, what was the task, right? The actions, what did you do? The result, what was the result? Did it work? Okay, troubleshooting. We know it didn't work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe in some cases it did, but in most cases you had some type of errors. So if you found like, hey, I had this error, I couldn't get over it, so I researched this, and this is what it told me to do, and that's what I did. I want to see all of that, and then screenshots of important milestones within that project. Because your job in documentation, just think of it in a simplistic form like this. If I came behind you and let's say I knew nothing and you wanted to teach me how to do this, how would you teach me? You see what I'm saying? That's all documentation is. All right, at what point should I learn Linux and Python before diving into it? Now, you're trying to get some consulting on this call. So you should learn Linux right now as you learn in AWS, because you wouldn't know how to connect to an instance after you deployed it if you don't know Linux or Microsoft, right? We know how to get into an instance, SSH, RDP, none of that, right? So learn Linux right now. Python can come later, but listen, I'm just giving you the God honest truth, okay? There's no need to ask all these questions and we're not going to do anything about it. All right, so I gave you the first steps. You should just concentrate on the first steps. Learn cloud fundamentals. What is cloud? How it works, how it impacts the industry across the world. Take one foundational certification, whether it's GCP, whether it's Azure, whether it's AWS. Go for that foundational certification. But while you're learning about the services, in that certification, use the documentation. Just go to AWS documentation or GCP documentation or Azure documentation and type in the service, and it literally gives you everything you need to know about that service and documentation. And there's a thing that says quick start guide. Click on the quick start guide and deploy that service to learn what it does and how you can do it. That is the immediate thing you should do. Everything else, don't even worry about it right now, because what we do is we take 1,000 different things from 1,000 different people and we try to learn it all and end up learning nothing. So I'm giving you the critical starting point for you right now. So go ahead and do that. All right, let's see. Oh man, let's see what we got. Okay. How can cloud resources optimize fraud detection and prevention processes? Also, what does a cloud DevOps role encapsulate? So you asking deep questions here. So number one, let's talk about what the cloud DevOps role encapsulates. So different companies have different roles for the same title. All right. So you could be called a cloud DevOps engineer, but you only work on one tool. And that one tool could be orchestration, or that one tool could be configuration management. Or that one tool can be infrastructure as code for that process, right? So you could be a cloud DevOps engineer, but the only thing you work on is Terraform. But typically, DevOps is just a methodology. For those who are listening who don't know what cloud DevOps is, cloud DevOps is just a methodology that takes code that developers develop, right? You test the code, you test the build of the code and make sure nothing breaks. Then you can deploy with the code, which creates an application of some sort, whether internal or external. And you deploy this application in a sandbox, for lack of a better word, environment to make sure, with the services that you want to deploy with, to make sure it doesn't break for the end user. And then when you go through the process to make sure this application doesn't break, then you can deploy it to the actual end user. And anytime you want to update the code, change part of the code, etc., you go through the same process. So a simplistic form is this. You know how you go into Netflix and you see the red end that pops up on Netflix? You know, when you click on it, it says, boom, boom, the red end comes on, right? That's part of a code. They coded the red end, the color, the format, the font, all of that, right? So you can see. What if they wanted to code this blue? So the developers would change the code so the end now shows up blue, but we have to test everything to make sure this code actually works, because if we don't and we deploy this to the end user and something breaks, because code can break a lot of things, right? Now the end user can't access the application on Netflix, can't access our front end at all. And if that happens, understand how many hundreds of millions of people that Netflix has, that even just for a short period where, let's say, 2-3 million people are affected because we didn't test the code, we didn't deploy it in a sandbox or deploy it in a test environment, and make sure it ran properly before we deployed it in production, they can lose millions of dollars just in that short time of being down. This is why Netflix do chaos engineering to make sure they break their system and applications before you even have the chance to. This is why they spend so much money in just system design and scalability, meaning they have so many users to serve. They want to build their systems to be able to scale at a drop of a dime. If their users surge from 100 million users right now to, in the next 30 seconds, 120 million users, right? So DevOps is just a methodology that really is about constant improvement. Not even constant improvement of the code, but constant improvement of the services that we use to test, deploy, and monitor our environments for our end users. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Part of what Level Up Tech does is teach good hygiene for troubleshooting. It teaches a strong foundation on methodology, documentation, and design from a foundational perspective. This is so valuable for getting your career started. So many of the old guard IT folks have picked up bad habits from poor foundational hygiene. This is one of the reasons I hired so many from the program before I came on as a coach. Documentation is paramount for success. Thank you, Joe. And y'all don't understand, Joe, I've known Joe since probably 2020, 2021. So I've known Joe for 4 years before he even came on as a coach. And we live near each other, right? So he's seen the good, and he's seen people who are not confident. He's seen things they had to work on. He's seen people who came out. So think about it. You have people, like you said, that pick up bad habits, people who want to transition from another IT job to cloud. They pick up bad habits, but somebody who has never touched IT before and come in and learn cloud, they're gone, because it's a similar thing they say in the military, or we just say around, like, hey, you could teach a person who hasn't shot a gun before better than a person who has shot a gun, because the person who shot a gun could have picked up bad habits shooting a gun. The person who hasn't never shot a gun will learn everything that you need to teach them the right way the first time. And that's exactly what we do at Level Up Tech. All right, let's see. I got so many comments, y'all. Sorry. Yes, actually started documenting my learning journey recently. It's been helping me track progress and stay consistent. That's what they want to see. Because at the end of the day, hold on, y'all. Y'all can come in. See, my family's out the door. They're looking at me like, can we come in? Because I'm at the kitchen table. Y'all can come in. At the end of the day, they want to see proof that you can do the job. That's period. Before they give you that 80K, 90K, 100K, 110K bag, before they even talk to you, right? They want to see, like, hey, can this person actually solve the problems that we need them to solve? Because we are budgeting for this role. So you're not in business to give money away to somebody who can't bring a return. Think about that. So, like, if you were in business right now, and you were looking for a bookkeeper, you wouldn't hire someone who don't know what they're doing, because you need somebody to know what they're doing so you can continue to do what you need to do. If you got to be on that bookkeeper and teach them what they need to be doing for your books and your money and everything like that, then why hire them? You could do the job on your own. All right, so I guess I surprised myself with the grind, that syndrome from the proper name. Oh yeah, I got you. He said it's about being in cloud for years and don't get it the way you are getting it early on. Some ChatGPT tell me that I'm thinking like a solutions architect with my questions and knowledge base. So I assume you're saying that even though you've been in cloud for a while, you still don't feel confident to do the job. If that's what you're saying, everybody deals with imposter syndrome, brother, right? You're here for a reason. You've been in cloud for a while for a reason, right? So obviously you have something to offer. Otherwise, somebody will already noticed it. You don't get lucky that long. So just continue to shine, continue to upskill, continue to learn, brother, and to continue to just not being afraid to just give your solutions and speak up in meetings and showcase what you've been thinking of creatively. Because you, the individual, are different and you have your own creativity. So this is what this game is about. We can learn the same tech, but it's our mindset and our way of thinking and our processes and the things that we've done over our life that creates who we are, that creates that simplistic individual solution that you could bring to the table that no one can bring to the table. All right, let's see. Build, dev, test, and deploy, rinse and repeat. Absolutely. 100%. Thanks for that. All right, that explains why most entry jobs require 5 days. You know, sometimes when companies have HR put these jobs up, HR don't even know what they be doing. They just use ChatGPT to do it as well, right? So think about that. Still apply. Don't matter. Hey, I don't care if the job asks for 10 years of experience and I don't have it. I'm going to apply if I feel like I got 60% of those skills. So I think that's the thing. We see 2-3 years and we let it scare us and deter us from applying. Meanwhile, they're looking for you. They're looking for you. You just got to be ready. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Eric, don't let that discourage you. Most cloud careers are 8 years or less. A person with 5 to 8 years won't take an entry job. Absolutely. Or I think this is Joe. If they take one, if they in need and they like, I'm gonna take this because I'm gonna take it, they're not staying there long. So the company is not investing into a critical asset, a critical resource for their company because that person is just going to use it till they find something that's paying them the money that they really want because they have the experience and then they out instead of investing into somebody who's going to stay there and want to grow because they're learning. Right. So that's why, and that's one of the reasons why you should never wait till you 100%, you have 100% of the skill set to apply to a job. Because if you have 100% of the skill set, where are you going to learn? Where are you going to grow? Where are you going to stretch? You already have all the skills that are needed. So you're going to be in a position where you're just complacent. And if a person does that, if you're going to do that, that's what I'm going to say. If you're going to do that, let it be your second job. Don't let it be the primary. Let it be something that you already know how to do. You could coast. You could make that good 6-figure salary, that high per hour contract, and keep coasting. Because other than that, you're not going to grow, and you're going to end up leaving shortly. So if you have 60% of the skills, apply, because what scares you is going to help you grow. So now you know you're going to grow, you're going to learn, you're going to be with people that are more experienced than you. And when I say more experience is this. I have over and over and over dealt with certain scenarios that this role requires. And that's the experience that I have dealing with it. The experience, when people say, oh, experience, it means, oh, this person has this, they're super smart. They have so much of this knowledge that I could never learn. No, experience means, hey, for the last 5 years, I've experienced this. So when you come on and you experience for the first time, now you got experience because you see what I'm saying? Now you know what to do. So now the next time in this first year you do, you're like, oh yeah, I know what to do. Boo, boo, boo. And that's 1 year. Then we do, oh, this 2 years. And you're just experiencing the same thing. And you may see different ways of solving the problem over that next 5 years. It doesn't mean you're smarter than someone, because somebody who has no experience can come in and think super different than you and think more critical than you, that will run laps around you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got people who just been in outside of a tech role, but have super critical problem solving skills. And you don't, but you have 5 years of experience, and they come in and think in a way that you never thought to think. Think about that. They think in a way that you never thought to think, if that makes sense. All right. Let me check Instagram, make sure there's no questions here. All right. So this is all about I want to give y'all the truth about this thing, right? Anybody can do this. This industry is open for anyone who wants to change their life. But you're not letting yourself do that because, number one, you keep developing these little gnats that robbing you, and you are telling yourself that I got to do a million things, and you don't. You just have to focus on one thing at a time. I got to learn this, I got to learn that. Yeah, you might have to, right? However, you don't have to do it all at once. Okay? Let's see. See, there's my thorn in the flesh at the moment. Don't want to apply for a role until I have a degree. Multiple micro certifications in cloud computing just seems obsolete and inadequate. Thanks for the motivation. What is a degree going to do? I mean, I know the degree teach you certain theoretical things that you like. I don't have a college degree, all right? And I don't have experience going to college. But from my experience, seeing other people who go to college, especially for tech, like computer science, information systems, et cetera, it seems to me that their education in college taught them for what things are supposed to do or how things are supposed to happen. But it didn't teach them to adjust, to adapt, at the point of when things happen the way they're supposed to, not supposed to happen, or supposed to happen, excuse me. So like, you know what's supposed to happen, but do you know what to do when it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen? That's what tech is all about, right? Tech, like, hey, we can, if Netflix wanted just to build a video file website to have you watch all your videos, they can just do that. But guess what? They're genius. They're genius engineers, have so much experience that they know, and anybody who's in tech know, that you have to plan for what happens when something doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. So that's why they always have chaos engineering. They want to break their system before you have the chance to, because they know tech doesn't work the way it's supposed to work most of the time. So I hope that's motivation for you to get started, man. Like, don't worry. I mean, if you're in college right now, you're invested into a university to get your degree, get your degree. But if you're thinking about going to get the degree, don't get the degree. Just get the micro certs and get your hands on. Like, even the micro certs is not going to save you if you don't have hands-on opportunities. If you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone to do that at the moment, you can't prove that you can do the job. Get the job. Push yourself to get hands-on from right now for the next few months, every single day, even complex stuff. Just say, I'm going to do it. And if I can't finish it, I can't finish it. But at least I dove in and figure out, what's happening. Get your hands on. And then when you get the job, let them pay for your degree. That way, your degree is going to be an asset somewhere, right? Right now, you don't know what your degree, you might get hired at a company who didn't really give a shit about your degree, but you spent that money, right? But so at least just get into the job, let them pay for the degree, and that way your degree is going to go somewhere. They pay for it, so they definitely going to use it. All right, troubleshoot. Yes, absolutely, man. Imposter syndrome, it's good to push through that and focus on learning. The more you document, the more you develop more confidence. Amen, Joe. Eric, the longer you wait, the more roles fill up or the companies shift their priorities. It is important to be prepared, but opportunity strikes, and if you have to learn a little more, you will be fine. Most entry roles will allow you development. Don't miss the boat. Things are changing every day. Get in where you can. If y'all don't take anything from that, take that, what Joe just said. Like, you're waiting to be perfect, and perfect doesn't exist. Companies' priorities change. Think about it. You can see a role right now that if you apply for, you could get hired in, but since you feel like you're not ready, you're going to wait, and next thing you know, next month that role won't be available. Somebody filled it, or the company's priority changed and they're like, you know what, glad we didn't hire anybody. We don't need that anymore. But if you just put yourself out there, you could have got into it and showed that you could be an asset, and they could have been like, oh, wow, we made a great investment. Meanwhile, you think you don't know anything. And you're like, oh my God, I'm about to get fired because they're going to say I don't know anything. And the whole time they're like, oh my God, yeah, John is great. I had to check myself too when I got into my first role, because I wasn't hearing back from my manager as much as I wanted to feel comfortable. And he was like, hey, bro, pump the brakes. No news is good news. If I don't call you, that means you're doing a fantastic job. The moment I'm up your butt is the moment you need to worry. All right. You hit it right on the money. Not focusing on one skill is the reason I feel stuck in advice on learning Linux. Just start learning it. Start learning basic commands, from changing directories, from listing to concatenation, to changing permissions for users and groups, to learning how to check processes, killing processes, just basic stuff right now. Because at the end of the day, the more, like, the experience doesn't come from you just learning the complex stuff. Like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, I know. The experience comes from you doing this over and over and over and over. And then one day you're going to be like, well, there's got to be a better way for me to do this than do that. Let me see. Oh, I could be doing this the whole time. Boom. And now you just find better ways to do what you've been doing every single day. That's the whole point of tech, is to, if you're doing things over and over, how can you automate these things so you can focus on other things and figure out how to automate those? All right, let's see. Build, break, scale, build, continuous improvement. SRE and DevOps are built on these principles. Read the Phoenix Project. It's a great foundational read with the history of how DevOps came about. Absolutely. You'll learn the story on how this guy at work implemented DevOps without, you know, the keyword DevOps in that book. And then after you read that, read the DevOps handbook. It's written by the same author as well. Let's see. Sign up for Level Up in Tech. I teach a whole 4 weeks of Linux. Hey, Joe is a beast. 27 years of experience in Linux. If you want to see if we can help you, just put the LU in the chat, John. Put the LU in the chat. Reach out. It's no problem. All right, let's see. I want to make sure there's no questions being asked. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? So I know it's late, but I'm glad y'all came on, because this is super dope just to have these conversations and really focus on like what really matters in your career. And Joe came on. Like I said, Joe's hired so many people. First cloud native project underway, MrTexas.com, built from scratch like a true script kiddie. I've already leaked a few of my API keys and left the functions because of my live products and sandbox. So just putting a hold on the page for now. Yeah, you know, Inspect can leak a lot of things. So just make sure using that API gateway and them Lambda functions right to not expose those keys. But once again, I do these every day. I wanted to just help you come in. I know a lot of you came in with a frame of mind. I want to help you reframe your mind and help you leave with a new frame of mind, with the right stuff, All right. AWS is my platform. It's so hard to see roles out there that want all platforms, AWS, Azure, GCP. Should I just keep grinding with AWS? Yeah, man. Like you've been hold on 1 second, y'all. If you've been working at AWS for a while, then do the same things in Azure. Like, hey, whatever projects you have at AWS, just try to do the same things in Azure. You don't need to start at basic, like, let me learn this. You'll start to learn like how things map just by using it. You're like, oh, this is that. This is the other, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I've been that as VCP. Okay, I didn't know that. You know, so if you deployed a static website in AWS, just deploy the static website in Azure. It's okay. All right. See, you're learning. This is the time to do it. Absolutely. It's a time to grind, time to shine, time to show that you're able to do this. The bag is everywhere. Is it competitive? Yeah, it's competitive. But doing the right things can help you set apart from everybody else. Because I promise you, there's so much competition in this industry, but 90% of them are not doing what they're supposed to do to stand out. So you have the opportunity to do everything you're supposed to stand out, okay? What's the most challenging situation you encountered so far in cloud? Me is learning things I had no idea that existed. So in my early years, when I was in AWS support, I had to work with tools like, I was fully AWS. So, at that time, I never even heard of Terraform or nothing. So it was more CloudFormation, AWS vendor specific services, right? But when things broke, like, oh, this Salt Lab broke, and I'm reading these errors and not knowing what they're talking about, and I had to Google. And at that time, think about it. We didn't have ChatGPT, y'all. We had Stack Overflow, Reddit, and Quora. And maybe some articles, other people you would find, hopefully, who went through the same thing. But when it came to Terraform or even things in GCP or Azure that I knew nothing about, it's just getting over that fear of learning how to solve problems with things that you've never seen before. And once you get that process, you get more comfortable with it. That was the most challenging thing, just being overwhelmed with shit that I didn't even know existed. And at the same time, being new at my job and trying to figure out, am I getting fired? Right. So the imposter syndrome and the anxiety over dealing with these new services kind of weighed me down. But then when I learned like everybody deals with this type of stuff, like even senior level people, if they haven't encountered it, they haven't encountered it. So how do they handle it? And just figuring out that process, then I just got more confident and got stronger and stronger. All right, given that I'm based in Nigeria, what would you recommend that's the best way to position myself in my documentation so I can stand out international recruits? Just share your documentation on LinkedIn, whether you share the write-up or whether you share the video. I would create videos. I would just do YouTube. Every project I do, I would create video teaching it and build a brand around it. That's the best advice I can give you right now. It's no more questions you should ask. Like, well, what, no. Next project, do a video. That's it. Good night. Not y'all. I was talking to my sister. Don't boil the ocean. You can get good at AWS and Azure and GCP, but if you spread yourself too thin, you won't master any. The good thing is about 90% of each cloud hypervisor is nomenclature. Yeah. There are plenty of sites that can show you what services are in AWS and same services running in Azure and GCP. Yeah, I'm gonna give me a shameless plug. I did a course called GCP for the AWS admin on Pluralsight. Check it out. Let's see. When I first started, we had Alta Vista, like I said, y'all. So you're gonna find challenging things in tech, and you're gonna be overwhelmed, but develop a process. So that way, when the next time you're overwhelmed, you're not starting from scratch, right? The problem, so this is the thing I'm gonna tell y'all now. The problem with y'all not documenting your projects is two things. Number one, you can't tell the story because you forgot what happened. You forgot what problem you were solving. You forgot everything about the project. Number two is, I just forgot my train of thought. Okay, yeah. You can't talk about the resources you use and how you solved it. So it's not only just to talk about what you did and the problem you solved, but it's more importantly to talk about how you solved it as well. And you don't develop a process of solving problems if you don't document it. You can't, I mean, some people can, right? I can remember what I did last time. But if you're working on this project and it took you 2 days to do, and you came across a number of errors, you're not going to remember everything that you used to fix it. So if you don't document it, then basically you did that project for nothing because you're not going to remember. When somebody asks you about it, and you can go back and be like, oh, yeah, so this is what I did. Let me show you, blah, blah, blah. This is impressive, especially if you got to write up your screenshots, okay? So with that being said, right, has this been valuable? Did y'all get something out of this? Put the gems in the chat if y'all got something out of this. I want to make sure y'all got the value that y'all looking for out of this. Let me see some gems. Please give me some gems in the chat if you got some out of this. Put thumbs down if you didn't. Put the thumbs down if you didn't. Okay, let me see. Joe said, I know some guys who started a blog and built a brand. They were in retail, and now they're working as data scientists in a large telecom company. One of their senior directors followed them and then recruited them. You're your own best advocate. Get on LinkedIn. Getting hired is your job right now. So update your profile with imagery, links, and tell your story. Good stuff, Broadus and Joe. I'm on the right path, changing my daily activity. Yes. Okay, John, thank you, man. At least got one gem. Thank you. Somebody want to give your boy no gems? All right, thank you, Kendrick. All right, thank you, Joe. Thank you. So if you're at a point right now where you just feel like, hey, I'm overwhelmed, I need accountability, I need structure, I just need guidance, I need a plan because I want my outcome to be in this next year, this next 6-7 months, I want to get a cloud role and step into my new career? Put LU in the chat. Let's talk about if we can help you maybe get to that point, because we're not for everyone, right? But if we can help you get to that point, then we can see your vision and help you reach your destination. Imagine what your life gonna look like when you reach it. Trust me, I was making 40K as a banker. When I got that first cloud roll, it changed my life. All I could see over that last 10 months was my destination. I thank God for it every day when I woke up, because I knew it was supposed to be mine. And when it came true, I looked at this salary for 24 hours straight on my phone when they offered it to me. And I was telling my wife, I was like, man, this is about to change our lives. Like, do you understand? And she was like, yeah, I know. And listen, think about what does it feel like when you reach your destination? Put the LUs in the chat if you want to see if Level Up in Tech can help you reach that goal, that one thing that you've been wanting for a while, but you just haven't been able to accomplish it on your own. Okay. Couple more questions. Let's see. Quick question. How can an individual convey their projects in interviews? Read them. So if you're documenting your projects and they talk about, and it better, like, if you're going to convey your projects in interviews, it better be the projects with the skills that showcase how you can solve their problem with the exact skills they're asking you to have. And if they ask you, be like, hey, I actually just did that last week in this project where I did such and such and such. You mind if I share that with you? I want to just walk you through my process. Doesn't that sound confident? Like, if you got somebody that's sharing their process of their project with you and their documentation and showing you how they're solving problems, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, let me see. Okay, yeah, I like this guy. I like Ernest. Ernest came prepared with 3 or 4 projects and walked me through every step. And all they're going to do is ask you about the projects. So tell me what your thought process here when you did this. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. You just talk about yourself at that point. Hope that helps, Ernest. As a beginner, is it advisable to combine 2 providers? Focus on one. Focus on one. Don't get in that mix up trying to learn both at once. Many thanks, bro, for your efforts to keep inspiring us. Thank you. 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 Level Up makes you accountable for your own career development. It forces you to invest your time in career development. Yes. So, once again, you want an outcome. This is why you're doing all of this. You want to get into a cloud role. We can help you do that. How? Well, the how is just about you forging into the cloud engineer that you need to be, solving the right problems. Focus on getting better. The outcome is going to come. We want to see if we can help you. If you're a person that you just said, I've been doing this for a while by myself, I'm tired of doing this, or I don't want to do it by myself, or I need that structure, that guidance, that accountability, the real coaches who've been through the trenches to help me, because I really want to become a cloud engineer by the beginning first quarter of next year, right? That's what I want by next February, next March. I really want to be working my way to applying to these roles and getting these roles. Or maybe you got some experience and you say, listen, by the end of December, January, I want to be ready to be networking and talking. Drop the LU in the chat. Let's see if Level Up in Tech can help. All right. Boom. That's right, bro. Let's tell your story and add it to your resume too and reference it. Absolutely. All right. So with that being said, I'm out, y'all. I spent the hour with y'all tonight. It was a little late, but tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another conversation, and we're going to get to it. We're going to keep it real and raw every day. I want to help you. Come every day if you have to. Ask the questions if you have to. All right. I want to make sure you have the information that you need to be successful, whether it's on your own, whether you need a mentor, you're looking for one. I want to show you how to connect with one. Whether you need a program, hey, I'm going to show you how to connect with a program. Whether you want to go to college, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to give you the real about going to college for that education. Instead of spending your money, make them spend their money. Because if they want you to have the degree and they hired you, then let them pay for the degree. All right. So let's keep leveling up, y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow. Drop the gems if this is valuable to y'all. See y'all. Love y'all. Holla back.